Good morning. This is Sandra Romero with Keller Williams Realty Northwest Las Vegas, located off of Charleston and Summerlin. So this is a continuation of the credit matters and credit matters videos that I've been doing. So today's discussion is going to be as to the quickest way to boost your credit score. So the quickest way to boost your credit score is by becoming an authorized user. So, and I'm going to discuss a bit more as to how to go about that. It's actually a very simple process, probably like the least painful ways of all in which you can most quickly boost your credit score. And it costs you nothing but a telephone call. So what an authorized user is that, say, for example, we'll pretend I have bad credit, but I have an auntie that has great credit. She's had, say, it could be the actual creditor doesn't matter, but say for example, maybe she has like this credit line with American Express. She's had it for 30 years, never missed a payment, excellent history. So again, I'm the bad credit person, and so I'm like, hey auntie, and I'm trying to buy a house, but I need at least say like a 640 credit score, and my auntie will say she has maybe like an 800 plus, and this American Express account is pristine. So all auntie has to do is they call American Express, request me to be added on as an authorized user to her account. What American Express will then do is send her a card with my name on it. So yes, that does give me the rights to use her card without necessarily assuming the financial obligation, meaning I have no financial obligation to make the debt payment. Obviously, I'm not going to do that to auntie. I'm not going to screw her over or anything like that. She's helping me out. So, and this is where a lot of people, again, in my history as a credit bankruptcy counselor, whenever I presented the idea of authorized user, people kind of get a little squirmish and a little bit weirded out by the whole idea, because it's something so simple and most of us don't understand. I guess maybe because of its simplicity, it's difficult to comprehend. And so the thing is that, say, hey, maybe auntie doesn't want me using the account. Obviously I have a history of bad credit. I might just like go buck wild and ring up the card. Well, again, that's why we're sending it to her house. So all we want to do is have access to her history, not necessarily the ability to spend the money. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what I'm saying, I'll put those notes in and I'll better explain. And so what that does is that by her adding me on as an authorized user, usually give it at least like a 30 to 60 month cycle. Then the American Express, and it's again best to go with say like a more well recognized brand name, so like American Express, Capital One, MasterCard, something of that sort, because they have a habit of reporting regularly and on a monthly basis. So that helps you out because it shows a consistent history. And then so what it does is that again, so it allows you to borrow that person's credit history. So the thing we need to be careful about that is that if you are going to ask someone this huge favor, it is for them to call, because they're the ones, it is their card, their account, they're the ones that need to give access and the permission in order to add you on. And how it will be noted, you will know that you've been added on as an authorized user, is that first of all, you'll get the card, and then you're always welcome to draw your credit report afterwards. And then so like, say this is your credit report, and then somewhere like on the left hand side, it'll show when it names the account. We'll say in that this case it's we were talking say American Express, so on the where it lists American Express on the account, it'll have an AU to the very left column. So that signifies that on your account that you are an authorized user. For the purposes of lending, like lending institutions, they really don't care. They really don't care if it's an authorized user, because it has the benefit of impacting your overall credit history in terms of the higher score. The thing to be careful with this though is that, of course, again, I mentioned that this is perhaps the best and less painful way to boost your credit. So even though you have say like an improved credit score as a result of becoming an authorized user, yes, please still do work on the rest of your credit issues. because for the purposes of, say, obtaining a loan, a lender may still look at the number of delinquent accounts. It's up to the lending institution as to what they'll take into what they consider, and then what they will let slide away, you could say. But do take in mind that with the authorized user also that can be taken away. And that's where we're not sure. I was trying to like provide some statistics. I did some like online research and stuff like that, and I wasn't able to find a clear answer. You do risk that, say like maybe Auntie, you guys get in a fight, and then like Auntie's retaliation or something is like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna take you off my account, and she takes you off the account. The history is likely to also be removed from your account, and it goes back strictly to her, and then your credit score suffers and drops. So that's if. However, on the other hand, is that even if that situation were to happen, American Express is probably in the meanwhile likely, depending on how long you remain as an authorized user on the account, they may actually even reach out to you directly. I have had that experience in the past where, say, clients that I dealt with, where I had a woman in particular. I remember her well because hers was the greatest success story that I experienced in terms of helping someone rebuild their credit, and we were able to rebuild her credit. I've shared this story with some people. We were able to rebuild her credit and improve it by a matter of 240 points. 240 points within, say, like a 5-month period. And the key to that, half of that success, was, I think it was about 167, and this stands out to me because 240, I grew up on 240 East Orange Avenue in El Centro, California, 92243. So 240 is a very special number for me. So that is why I remember her. And aside from that, she was just kind of like a bright personality. But anyways, so yes, she paid off, she hustled like a gangster. She paid off all her debts and all the delinquent accounts, but primarily the most significant and impactful thing was asking her dad. Her dad's like, hey, you know what? She's like 26, 27 years old, but her dad's like, hey, you know what, kid, I'm really proud of what you're doing. She was trying to save she was a hairdresser, made really good money, but had nothing to account for it. So he was proud and in support of her efforts, agreed. I presented to her this idea of the authorized user, and he agreed to it. So of those 240 points that she gained in that 5-month period, 167 of those points was because her dad agreed to sign her on to one of his long held accounts. And again, as her dad had good credit, he agreed to sign her on to one of his accounts as an authorized user. And she was able to buy her home and be in by December. Her goal was actually, we even, I think, got her in before Thanksgiving. I mean, not me at the time, I wasn't a realtor, but I was happy for her and sharing her success. Her goal was to celebrate Christmas in her new home with her new doggy, and she was able to not only have Christmas in her new house, but also have Thanksgiving.